This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. And let me tell you, we get started with kind of a preview of what the next 24 to 48 hours could very well bring us. You know that today is the 25th, 26th tomorrow, 27th day after the draft is, of course, Wednesday. So, first round that is. So we've got a lot to cover here in the next few days. Things were starting to shake out pretty heavy yesterday, and then all of a sudden everything that was shaken out hit some snags, and that leaves us previewing what should be happening here over the next 2 or 3 days in the NHL, and of course here at home in Edmonton Oilers land. Friends, I'm Tyson. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, what I want you to do is consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. I'd love to have you aboard. Of course, the first round of the draft, I don't even see a reason to really stream it this year because the Oilers obviously don't have a first round pick, and there really doesn't seem to be a ton of buzz that the Oilers will do anything too crazy in the first round of the draft while we're live watching it this year. So that's covered off, but do want you to stick around for more coverage. Anyway, big news today is just kind of how everything shakes out with those NHL trades. Obviously, we know that Philadelphia and St. Louis are trying to work out a blockbuster, and it hit a snag yesterday. It appears to be Torrey Krug not wanting to waive his no-trade clause, so that's held things up on the St. Louis end to go back to Philadelphia, which is fine, right? That realistically doesn't impact anything until you look at the trickle-down effect, because you look at then the secondary trade that Philadelphia was going to make yesterday, which is Tony DeAngelo to the Carolina Hurricanes, returning him back to where he started from. And we're like, oh, okay, well, what? Okay, so what implications does that have for Oilers fans, right? Still nothing that we can really think of until you think about the right-hand side of the Carolina Hurricanes defense and a guy who has been made available in chatter over the past few weeks, Brett Pesce, right? And now, friends, I break it down that far. Yes, the Edmonton Oilers are interested in this whole situation because when Pesce is available, we're going to be one of the top bidders for him. That has been just kind of how things have shook out here so far over the past 2, 3, 4 weeks, is the Oilers are in the market for an upgrade on Cody Ceci. Fair enough. But that upgrade has to be perfectly priced. That upgrade has to be a perfect fit. That upgrade. And Brett Pesce is all of those things for the Edmonton Oilers. It's just a matter of, unfortunately, making sure you can get him or else dealing what you have to get him as well. So there's kind of that. Can you get him? Do you have enough to give up to get him? And I think in the situation the Carolina Hurricanes find themselves in, the Edmonton Oilers are very compatible trading partners, but ooh, pardon me. But you have to yeah, that would figure. You have to figure out how to make it all work on your end, right? The Carolina Hurricanes aren't just going to go from a top-tier team in the East, give up Brett Pesce, and hope that they can repeat that, because there's a reason the Oilers are interested in Brett Pesce as well, right? It's not like this guy's just a sixth defenseman who hits hard. That's not the case with Brett Pesce. He's a very valuable piece on the right-hand side, right? Obviously, you're talking about pairing him up with Darnell Nurse when he gets here, if he gets here. So, of course, yeah, that's a key piece to even the Carolina Hurricanes roster, but at least they're trying to replace him with Tony DeAngelo before shipping him off to us, if that is what ends up happening. So it's kind of one of those trickle-down effects, right? Obviously, that Flyers-St. Louis Blues trade has to happen first for things to really start getting silly. Then, of course, DeAngelo to the Carolina Hurricanes has to happen. And then. And that's where we kind of find ourselves right now. And two, you look at maybe how Nashville could facilitate something, right? They're looking to maybe weaponize that cap space a little bit. I don't know if they're retooling to be competitive or retooling to rebuild. Not really sure what Barry Trotz is doing in Nashville at current, but we're seeing a big time go there as well. So I would say keep an eye on Nashville if there's any three-way trades involving the Edmonton Oilers here shortly, because right, they got a lot of cap space suddenly and they could definitely make something happen with it. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. Secondary is the Connor Brown front, which I think all of us Oilers fans are starting to, if you weren't already excited about it, you're really starting to get excited about it because it's a guy who's supposedly coming in at a low cost, who's going to take incentives to make the rest work, and then B, also play alongside your top 6 players and have an impact there. A guy who has been described as Zach Hyman light. Like, there's a lot to love about Connor Brown. It's just more and more coming to light day by day. But the angst in the Oilers reporting is now kind of, well, he needs to take less. That's the only way it works. Less. He needs to take less. And a lot of people not sure if that's going to be 100% the case, right? About 3 weeks ago, I think it was a foregone conclusion that Connor Brown was going to be an Edmonton Oiler, and now all of a sudden, it's not me changing my tune. Not me. I'm still 100% sure Connor Brown will be an Edmonton Oiler July 1st, but it's just, right, okay, maybe there is money on the table for Connor Brown elsewhere. Maybe there is somebody who's going to step up and offer him money to play for them that beats out the Oilers offer, whatever the Oilers offer might be. And that kind of sucks to hear because, right, now all of a sudden there's decisions to be made. We were hoping that we were going to walk in Connor Brown kind of like how we walked in Zach Hyman and Jack Campbell. But hey, you know what? If it doesn't work out that way and we have to figure out how to make the bid work, that is fine and dandy for us because we will be okay as long as the Oilers just wine and dine him. And I think that's been reported as well as the Oilers whining and dining him and trying to convince him, hey, look, money elsewhere means something, sure, but Stanley Cup here, secondary to that, go and play hockey with your buddy Connor McDavid. That should mean everything to you. And I think that's kind of been what the strategy so far with Connor Brown has been. So friends, that's the 2 major news pieces. I just really want to touch on again. We're into the last 3-4 days before the draft, right? 25th today. It's only noon, so lots can happen. 26th tomorrow, 27th, draft day 28th, draft day 29th. We still don't have anything clear on Kailer Yamamoto. That's the scary part here, and that's what I want to just touch on to finalize this whole video, is that Kailer Yamamoto is a buyout candidate at this point still, and secondary, he is also a guy that is very much a part of every single Edmonton Oilers trade rumor when it comes to acquiring a guy that has a cap hit. So as it currently stands, I'm really not sure where the Oilers are leaning with that. You saw Gillis TV's reporting that the Oilers might have something on the table for Kailer Yamamoto, but it's kind of one of those things right now is every time we seem to get some concrete reporting, even yesterday, right? Flyers, St. Louis Blues making blockbuster trade happening right away. And now all of a sudden it still hasn't happened, right? Tony DeAngelo to the Carolina Hurricanes still hasn't happened. So every time there's concrete stuff happening in the NHL at this time of year, always be warned that nothing is about to materialize just because it might seem concrete. So it is what it is at this point, but we'll continue to monitor Kailer Yamamoto, Connor Brown, and of course, Brett Pesce as today goes on. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for being aboard this morning. I'm going to go get a coffee in me. I'm going to go cut the lawn, and then we're going to get to business here hopefully this afternoon as the Oilers make some trades. I am up on out of here.